morning, everyone. Today we're going to be tying some Royal Coachman. Good morning, wee man. I should use golden pheasant tippet for the tail. What's left of this one anyway. Just got a stray fiber there we're gonna pull out. You got snow? Morning, Robert. Good to have you in, mate. Yeah, I'm gonna be there anytime now. Sadly, my well pump stopped last night, or during the day, so I spent most of my day yesterday messing with the well. Didn't get it going yet, but I'm confident I will today. Yeah, I'll do one more here. Yeah, I'm sure it will. It's just a question of time and money. I think the pump is actually still functioning, but property next to us that shares the well water had a septic tank replaced, so they didn't have a lot of luck on that either. And I think what happened is, since they had so much heavy equipment in their yard, that they may have ran over and broken the line running into their property, which would, empty out the pressure tank and cause the limiter to overheat. That's my running theory so far, because everything looks like it should be working. So, bottled water instead of spring water for tea today. Yeah, doing septic work is worse, bad enough, and then having to do well work after. But we haven't had a lick of problems with it for 11 years, so it's probably time. There, pop that one out in rather quick time. Really happy with that one too. Turned out nice. Come on now. There we go. Didn't adjust my exposure before I started. Looks like I'm a hair overexposed, but that's okay. There we have Royal Coachman dry fly stuff. At least my version of it. Okay, cool. Thankfully, we didn't have to replace much when we came in. I'm just gonna rotate that for a minute here to dry that head up. Yeah, those quill wings sat in there real nice. Happy with that. Getting close to the end of my quills here, on those two anyway. I think I can get one more fly out of those. Thanks, Robert. If anyone's watching, feel free to give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free We're here most mornings and evenings. There's just one or two that I'm going to be fussy with and pop out here. There we go. Overall, it's a beautiful Coachman though. Hang out with his other friends. There's those two. And the wet fly version. Might do up some more wet flies once I crack another quill open here. Don't think I have a long enough. Let's have a look there. Oh, maybe we'll get a wet fly out of that one. Yeah, probably have just enough there. Let's check this one. Well, that one's fine. Probably get two out of this side. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it. Just a lazy morning tying. Gotta work today. I have the next couple days off, so I'll be on here. But I'll probably be dealing with that well. Yeah, do as he says. Poop. Stay. Okay, let's move on. This one's got some damage on this side, so we'll use up the other side first. That's a golden pheasant tail. I want to take about gap height for most tails. That's a good amount. When you're cutting this off, you do want to try and keep them together so you get that nice black banding. So just pinch. You can definitely rip them off. In this case, I just cut them. One important thing to do is remember which side the colored side is. Take your fingers and push them through, and you want to kind of fold that so that you're getting the color on both sides, in theory. That's orange all the way around. I like to tie them in so I can just see that black dot on the back. I think the color on this is slightly more important than the size. But generally that's right where the right size is in any event. buddy. What you doing there? Looks like I might have some twist in my throat. Stray cat here. Yeah, that's probably just a hair too long, so let's see if we can tidy that up a bit. Stay. That's better. I like that. Why are you so loosey? I'm just gonna tie these guys in. And I'll get rid of our waste material. Add a little more teeth. I'm gonna skip the rest of the techno stuff here. I'm not really. Oh yeah, please do. I'd like to see that. I'll have to check it out after the stream, of course, but I'd be happy to check it out. things in at this point. Come on, behave yourself. Get back in there. There you go. There would be. Yeah, it should be long enough. Good. Yeah, this time of year is always rough because they don't have sand or any precautions down yet. And a lot of people don't have their tires on. So it's going to be a real mixed bag. Got those in the stacker there. Tips are all nicely lined up. We're going to save those for a sec. Wow, some more of this tea. It's really good. Beauty. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one a little different than the last one. I'm gonna try it as a wet fly. So we're gonna tie on the body first here. Can't see it off camera, but I'm just attaching this floss to the thing with the stuff. My bobbin holder. Just keep it out of the way for a second. Yeah, just gonna put a slight twist on that. And we'll start wrapping this up. Yeah, they do here too. And it sure does. My Toyota does not like the salt. I never did it. And I started actually using a sugar beet pulp byproduct recently, in the last few years, and it works, but it also leaves like this nasty sticky residue all over your car. Yeah, I got a few in there that slip in once in a while. Sometimes I enjoy it, but not my speed this morning. I like this kind of moderate folk country time. Three rotations on this red floss here. Back, forth, and back again. That's a 3. That should cover our base up fine. Throw a half-inch here for good measure. Come on up. Separating 4. There we go. I hope so. That's half the fun sometimes, is just sitting down and being like, what kind of scrap material I got laying around I can make into something. I should actually do that once a week or something. Or I'm just tying random stuff, because I do. It's enjoyable. And the nice part is no one can tell you it's wrong, because you're just winging it. Literally, if you're adding wings to it, then you're winging it. Speaking of adding wings, that's our next step here. Just gonna get a little thread base. That's a cute little body. I like that. That turned out well. Nice and symmetrical. fighting with this quill wing like always. Yeah, so far. Okay. This is a little short. I'd like to have it like out here. But the one quill, like I said, I was at the end of that feather, so it's just going to be a hair shorter. I do like to have it kind of matching the tail, but it's going to be more like here. By the time we get that wrapped in. Yeah, that's probably about as good as I'm going to get right about there if I'm lucky. Might lose some fronds on the top because they're going to be really close to that edge. We'll give her a try. That is a good question, to be honest. Like shortly after the stream yesterday, the water stopped, and I've been rushing at that. I didn't even use my phone hardly any at all. It's the last thing I want to drop down the well. But no, actually I didn't. I will check that shortly. I apologize. Like I said, it was kind of just a, oh no, I need to get that fixed. Definitely not what I planned spending my birthday doing, but it is what it is. Yeah, I lost one frond, but the rest of them actually that worked out nice. Look at that. I don't think I could have laid that more straight on the top if I tried. Let's hope it stays that way. And just for all those people that knock over. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like, oh no. Drop everything, get the well working. Yeah, so there's a good amount of tires on the internet with their opinions about overseas materials. These are just cheap. Come on, camera. Like I said, my exposure's way out of whack today. Gotta adjust that. Yeah, these are just cheap Temu Chinese goose feathers that were super cheap. So if you're trying to learn to tie, just buy a pack and then match up your wings. I'll do a video on that, how to match your quills and everything up. And you'll have hundreds for a couple bucks. So if you're gonna, instead of spending like $7 for 2 quills at a fly shop, now given those quills are gonna be a lot better suited for the project. But if you're just starting out and you want to learn, that's the best way to learn. Just go spend 10, 15 bucks on Temu. Unless you know someone that has, that you can get local goose feathers. That is the cheapest and easiest way to get it. And the part that always got me is like it's a natural material. If it's a goose in China, or it's a goose in Britain, or it's a goose in Canada or the US, it's just a goose. Now there's going to be some quality differences, obviously, if they're raised for meat or if they're raised for fly tying material. But for the price of 2 quill wings at a fly shop, you can get yourself a whole bag full. And that's how you get better at this kind of thing, just repetition. Yeah, if I could find goose quills in the thrift store, I would. For sure. And there is definitely like quality difference. Don't get me wrong. Like this, like I've showed with many of the feathers, like this whole bottom piece. Wow, like exposure is really out of whack, isn't it? I'll have to fix it later. Can't do it while I'm filming. But yeah, like this whole bottom of the quill here is basically junk. But I mean, you still got a good usable portion there. And I might have paid, I don't know, 10 cents for that feather or what have you. And that comes with experience and time too, is like learning what to spend your money on and what not to, right? Or what makes a difference, right? You could spend $5 per quill easily in the fly shop and get maybe, you know, half a dozen or a dozen flies out of it. Or you can spend $10 or $12 on 50 of them and get a couple hundred flies out of it. But you can't skimp on everything. That's just one of the things I've found. There's very, very little difference if you're willing to take the time to go through the material. Because yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that wing. That's a beautiful wing, right? So that cost me 10 cents for the feather. That wing cost me, what, like 3 cents. And a lot of people will really knock the overseas materials, but especially with natural materials, it's like the animal created it, not the person in the country. Yeah, unfortunately, like all things in life, politics gets mixed up in that. Okay. I'm just gonna see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. Oh, here, let me turn that down. For whatever reason, this song jumps up. I should probably take it on my playlist. There's a few songs that are kind of jacked. There, that better. That and I'm mumbling. But yeah, I guess this is just my point that I keep beating like a dead horse. Is don't necessarily let people tell you that overseas materials are junk. They're just materials. That's a big part of my enjoyment in the... Good, I'm glad. That's a big part of my enjoyment in this hobby is finding weird and wonderful materials to work with. But as you can tell, I'm also big into the classical tying. Alright, so we're going to use this, the end bit off the feather, off the other hackle feather for our wet fly. It's a little softer. Oh, buddy, you want to behave, right? There we go. No worries, mate. You do your thing. I'm just blabbering. just gonna remove, I forgot to remove some extra fronds on this, so just gonna remove about 3 or 4 on the bottom and top. Just for my first wrap. Yeah, it helps. It's a good technique. Not required by any means, but it definitely helps. I was gonna try this without hackle pliers, but I think we're gonna go with hackle pliers. This rake is kind of slippery. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna tie it in all messy like, and then I'm gonna sweep it back after. We're gonna try that method. There we go. There's many different ways you can do a soft tackle. This is just one of many. Get it to follow the line. There we go. That's better. Okay, so we got to this point. Now I'm just going to remove about too much hackle. So instead of trying to fight with all the fronds, I'm just going to rip those off. If it'll let me. There we go. Alternatively, you can just cut them out after or push them back. But I got more than enough on there, so off with its heads. Yeah, get by with whatever you can get by with, for sure. The only thing that really matters is that you're happy with the outcome at the end. Let my tension off for a second there, so I'm just going to do one extra catch wrap here because I don't know if I let it off too much before we cut this off. That'll probably do fine. Looking a little messy right now, but we'll clean her all up once we get the half hitches and that on. I like kind of a small bulbous or much bigger head anyway than what I would get on the dry fly. Put some binding wraps in first, hold everything in place. Check our hackle. Yeah, that's pretty good. There. Now one trick you can do, save a lot of if I can dig it out here. One trick you can do to save a lot of hassle on making your head too big is just get yourself Sharpie, whatever color thread you're using, in this case black, and just hit up all those little racist spots that are sticking through. Just be careful of your quill wing, because it'll bleed. Yeah, already you can see that makes a big difference. And you don't need to use nearly as much thread to try and cover all those up. There you go, see? It's another common issue that a lot of new tires have, is when you put way too much thread on the head to try and tidy things up. Trying to chase that one little quill that's sticking out, or yeah, there's always some. Oh no. Alright, one sec. Just snap my line at probably the worst possible timer. Okay. Well, didn't let go. Let's get that fixed up. As I was just saying about not building too thick of a head, and I go and snap my line right as I was going to tie my knot, which is going to make a bigger head, ironically. Sharpies are wonderful. I have a whole bunch. I don't use them as much as I really should probably, but you can do all sorts of stuff with Sharpies. And they last really well in the water too. They're not as UV resistant as I would like them to be, but I mean, for what they are, they're excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get my thread. You can see I'm touching the under thread there, although it's coming up on the camera. The loose bit. So I'm gonna just touch it, bring it back a hair, and then retie my thread on the back here. There we go. Now, if I would have had at least 1/2 inch on there, I honestly probably would have just thrown some head cement on this one. But I didn't, so now I do. Did I do? I did. Yeah, that's important. There's a lot of egos in fly tying, and there really shouldn't be. It's like oil painting or any other art run hobby, I suppose. There, got a couple safety hitches on. Alright. Get this tied off and glued before I make another boo-boo. But yeah, the Sharpie trick on the head, that'll save you so much frustration. I can't tell you how many years I spent trying to bury and cut off ends and stuff when there's absolutely no need for it. Because yeah, you'll put on an extra 10 or 20 wraps trying to bury a little tiny piece of white quill sticking out or something. There we be. Now that's exactly what I want the head to look like, actually. Ironically, after all that fuss about the head being oversized, I like a little round bulbous head like that. 100% personal preference, I just think it looks good. It does also, I guess, help keep the wing and the hackle in the right position. When I started tying, there was, I can't remember the name of the book, fly tying book anyway, that had a Royal Coachman, kind of just like that, with a nice little round bulbous head. And always just caught my attention. I liked it. Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Make sure you're safe, though. I know the stream can be thrilling and exciting. Don't want you driving off the road. Okay. I'm just gonna straighten him out in the vise of hair. There we are. And we'll just rotate him for a minute. Yeah, happy with how that one turned out. There's one or two kind of wispy hackle fronds. Let's go. Yeah, overall that one turned out real nice. Quite happy with that. Add them to the cork here. There be. I got time to do. Got time to do one more here. Not gonna talk as much though. I'm just gonna get this one burnt out. Finish tea. Thanks for hanging out, all. Appreciate it. Golden pheasant tail, or tippet. Those ones are all damaged, so we're gonna get rid of those. This batch is a little shorter, but we'll make it work. One random frond down there. Okay. Here we are. Like I said, just gonna pound this one out, so feel free to say hi though. I am still here. Just gonna focus on getting this one done. Doing this style a little different than the last. Like I said, I'm just gonna whip this off. Not that it's gonna be any less of a pretty little bug, but I'm gonna focus on efficiency. This is probably closer to how like a production tire would actually tie this pattern, to be honest. The floss is fighting me. Come on. Best laid plans of mice and men. Yeah, thanks. I was just playing around with the new AI feature in the YouTube Create there. To be honest, it was a lot harder to do than I thought it was going to be. The technology is definitely not right there yet, but it was fun to play with. I appreciate the compliment, though. Thank you. Just trying to get a little more of a useful, kind of fun little storyline, like you said, out of it. But honestly, by the time I got all the AI prompts to kind of do what I was hoping it would do, might have been quicker to just go out and film it. But still had fun doing it. And I'm sure it'll get better and easier as time goes on. I'll keep playing with it. One little wispy frother. Okay. I'm gonna try and use this last bit of these feathers. That's why I'm doing this fly rather quick, because I know these aren't gonna work out super well. You'll never know. The evil AI overlords will have their way. Yeah, it's a nice cool wing. That cut out nice. This part here is not the part I'm slightly worried about. It's this one. There's not much left on there. And it's fairly damaged, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get a quill out of that or not. Woof. Alright, it's gonna be quick and dirty then. I said, I don't know. It's the last I have of this wing, and I'm sure it'll be fishable. Just not sure if it'll be pretty. Normally I'd stop there and save those for something else. But we're gonna get this last one done. Another tip too is you can adjust your butt ends before you let go if you notice that they're off straight, and you'll be a lot better off if you adjust it beforehand. As soon as you let go, if something's not right, it could spin on you. And I really have a feeling this one's trying because it keeps, I don't know if it's coming up on the camera, but it keeps trying to spin. Okay, moment of truth, right? Bye-bye. Not good enough. Not the most pretty wing in the world, but it's on there. Yeah, that side's a little small. I wonder if I should trim you down a bit or just leave you. I think we're just gonna leave you the way you are. You're unique and special in your own little way. Do you really want to spin on it? Jeez. Settle down now. Where some decently sharp scissors comes in handy as well. Ironically, yeah, no twisty. One other trick I see other people do too, if you're brave, is you can use a lighter and just melt these. But I've had more issues melting my thread, breaking it, doing that. But it does work if you're tying really small stuff that you can't get scissors in on. Alright, so I'm just gonna tidy the head up here. And we're not trying to cover all of that. We are simply binding it down, making a smooth base for the hackle. I mean, yeah, that's not a horrible wing. That would be nice if they were the same size, but unfortunately, that's all I had left on that quill. Okay. But we're gonna do the old Sharpie trick. Get rid of those white dots so they aren't bugging us. There you go. Yeah, we'll be getting snow anytime here. Hopefully not until I get my well fixed. And I'm just prepping this hackle feather we're going to use for wet fly hackle. And I want it to all stand out like this. So you can see these ones are curving in, so that means they're a little too much on the regular dry hackle side to be too useful for us. So they're going to get trimmed off. You want them to stand up. There we go. You want to be able to stand up, 90 degrees to your hackle rate, and if they can do that, they're probably soft enough to bend backwards. And that's where you'll run into the problems if you left those on. When you go to bend them back, they'll decide to go somewhere else. And they may still, but just gonna remove. We're gonna go with 3 fibers from either side. If it'll let me. Oh, come on, buddy. That's just going to give us our first wrap or two without a lot of hackle sticking up. Or half wrap anyway, not wrap or two. Man, why are you being so fuzzy? And I'm glad you're good, strong hackle. Come on, man. You got stuff to do here. Alright, that's done. Oh. Alright, and this time I'm going to throw a half hitch in. I almost always do before I put hackle on. I forgot last time and then broke my thread. There, save point. Nice, we're gonna lift this up. They're gonna get pulled back. And they don't need to be all the way back by any means. But you just start the process and it makes it a lot easier if they have an idea what they want to do. And I'm gonna go with the rotary hackle pliers. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try and get 2 to 3 wraps on here. Beauty. Yeah, that's working out pretty well so far. Perfect. Okay, I can do that one more time. So it's just acting a little loose there for some reason. It's all gonna get buried in, so it don't matter too much, but let's see how it's moving around. Shouldn't be doing that. Not too worried about those fronds there though. Oh, dude, what is your issue? I'm catching you in anytime. I'm not sure why he's being a toot. Alright. Well, we're gonna cut her off and see what we're looking like. Okay, now I'm just gonna bind this all down. stump there and try and get rid of. If you have something sticking out like a racus like that, it's going to be a little sharp on your thread, so just use like your bodkin or anything you got that you can use for burnishing. Just give it a push down. There we be, that turned out good. Little fluff stick in there. There we go. Not again. I'm just pulling a little too hard. I was in a hurry. I'm not sure if that caught or not. No, looks like it didn't. Alright, let's do this properly. There it be. There's a little bit of rake is sticking out down here, so I'm just gonna hit that with that Sharpie again. And a little bit here too. But yeah, that's why I call it magic marker, right? Magic. I'm just gonna rotate that one for a minute, clear it up here. Okay, she's done. There's all the friends. Okay, so thank everyone for hanging out with me this morning. You guys have a great day. Hope everyone is happy and healthy and safe, and you find some cool flies today. Thanks all. Have a good morning.